Information in this video is only for people that are working out 4 days per week or more. So a common fallacy in fitness is I need to do more. I'm not getting to my goal because I need to do more cardio, I need to do more workouts, I need to do more yoga, I need to do more whatever. Insert whatever you need to do more. If you are currently working out 4 days per week or more and you are not getting to your goal, your solution is not you need to do more. Your solution is you need to be more efficient. You can get really, really good results working out 3 to 4 days per week. If you are not, and you're not getting close to your goal, it's because something you're doing is not efficient or something you're doing is just not going to get you closer to your goal. And that's what we're going to touch on in this video. This is why I preach about working smarter and not harder. Now, before I go over the solution to this, understand that this is a common problem that people have. And also props to you because before you master anything, it usually involves you working harder and not smarter to begin with, okay? Because you probably thought, I want to get in really good shape. I'm going to take action. I know doing nothing is not going to get me there. So I'm going to do a bunch of HIIT classes. I'm going to do a bunch of whatever. And you probably saw pretty good results from that at first, but then over time you stopped getting results, or over time you started to realize that these are not actually getting you closer to your goal. So props to you for having the dedication and the ability to work out 4 or more days per week. Your next step is now mastering the efficiency part of it, which is what I'm about to go over here. So the solution to this is you need to be doing these 2 essentials. And when you're not doing these 2 essentials, you're not going to be making progress. Okay. So number 1 is you need to be weight training a minimum of 3 days per week. Let me give you the common example of what I see when I talk to somebody about, them explaining to me what they do for workouts and how they're not getting results. So usually it looks like somebody is working out 4 or more days per week. They're doing a bunch of HIIT classes, they're doing Orange Theories, they're running, they're doing a bunch of walking, they're doing a bunch of, usually some type of cardio-based exercise. Now, what you need to understand is when your goal is weight loss and when your goal is to look leaner in the mirror, you need to change your body composition, which means you need less body fat and you need to maintain or gain muscle mass because that's how you're going to look leaner. Okay, you do not look strong, you do not look leaner if you don't have muscle mass. When you're doing HIIT classes, when you're doing cardio-based exercises, you are not building muscle mass. What you need to do is you can keep doing whatever those 4 types of training you're doing right now is, but you need to be lifting 3 days per week, a minimum, okay? If you're only lifting 3 days per week, I would say do a full body split 3 days per week because you have to start maintaining or gaining muscle mass. Because what that does is it allows you to burn more body fat and then it allows you to have muscle definition, which is what allows you to look lean. And then number 2, which is honestly even more important, especially if your goal is weight loss, you need to be tracking your calories and macros, or seriously tracking your calories and macros, not just like saying you track your calories and macros. Until you're doing these 2 things, you're not going to be seeing results. What is happening right now is you're doing a bunch of cardio-based training, you're burning a whole bunch of calories, but you're not maintaining or gaining any muscle mass, which is why you don't look leaner. And then you're not losing any weight because you're not correctly eating for your goal. Until you start eating the correct amount of calories and macros on a daily basis, you will not lose weight. Okay, you need to get this through your head. You can continue to do your 4, 5, 6 HIIT classes per week and add an extra yoga class in and add an extra this or that in. But if you're not eating the correct amount of calories and macros, the weight on the scale will not change. How you visibly look in the mirror will not change. That is why you need to dial in the calories and macros. Okay, until you do that, literally nothing else matters. Until you're doing 1 and 2 consistently, more is not actually more. Okay, more is just more time spent doing workouts, but it's not equaling more results. It's not even, probably for most people, it's not even equaling any results. Once you start doing 1 and 2 correctly and consistently, more is actually more. Okay, because once you start weight training 3 days per week and once you start correctly tracking your calories and macros, if you want to add an extra HIIT class in, adding an extra HIIT class in is going to speed up your results. It's going to allow you to lose weight faster. Adding an extra run in per week is going to speed up your results. It's going to allow you to lose weight faster. You're going to burn more calories. But it's not actually more until you have locked in these 2 essentials. Okay, that is what I really need you to understand. Because most people, and I would say 90% of people, are working harder and not smarter. And again, what I mean by that is they're not correctly training their body. They're not lifting weights 3 days per week. And then more importantly, they're not correctly eating for their goals. So all the work that they're doing, all the calories that they're burning are not actually, they're getting no return on investment for their hard work. Okay, and that is literally the worst place to be in fitness, is busting your butt doing HIIT classes and then doing your best to eat healthy, but you don't actually know how many calories and macros you need to eat, so then you eat incorrectly. And you do all this work to see no results. That is literally the worst place to be. So moral of the story is working harder and not smarter equals poor results or no results at all. Working smarter and harder equals results, and it equals amazing results when you do it consistently over time. If you have any questions about this, put them down below. I've made plenty of videos going over tracking your calories and macros, so if you're a little bit lost on that, make sure you go check out those videos. If you found this helpful, go check out the PR Fitness League. We give you a training program to follow, we give you a nutrition plan to follow, and you get to use those two tools to, one, get results, but then also to score points. And then whoever scores the most points at the end of each month wins a cash prize. The link for that is in my bio.